Welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, we're all moved into the shop. So we've got some cars rolling in. So let's go check out what we're gonna work with. You're watching the Vasko Speed and Performance YouTube channel. Okay, so we have the hole cut and cleaned up. So we went ahead and cut, it's a 4-inch hole. That way you can kind of put your hand in there to grab it. We might end up doing something else. I'm not for sure. We might put a door on it. We'll see where it is. We kind of need to get the bed on to see how high or low that is. Both wheel tubs are finished up, other than they need rhino lining to make it all match, but I think they turned out pretty decent. And then after we get that, we are going to stick it on the truck. And since the exhaust comes up about 1.25 inches higher than the frame, there's actually a brace on here that goes across here, and hopefully we don't hit it. If we hit it, I'll have to address that, which is a very good possibility. But I also got this stuff here, and so what we're going to do is we'll stick this to the bottom side of the bed to help with the heat from the exhaust. So tomorrow QA1 should have, well actually technically the seal should be here tonight for the F100. So as soon as that seal shows up tomorrow morning, we're gonna throw the seal in, and then we're probably gonna take this thing on its first maiden voyage. So stick around for that.
It moves.
It's bumpy, which probably means it has air in it. The cap oil anyway, so yeah, it's very bubbly. See how bubbly it is. So
You gonna put some more in it?
Yeah, put some more in it. Yeah.
So put some power steering fluid in it. He slams the hood so we know it's shut. question is they got, now they got 3 pumps there. They got to have something.
They better.
Yeah, they got multiples. I think he wanted to race. Not the water. Oh yeah, they got 91. You can get some petrol. I'll check the floods.
Okay, so William just dropped off this beautiful Chevy 2 Nova. It's got a small block Chevy with nitrous in it. And we are going to be building a custom belly pan for this. And we will also be putting some tow hooks on it and installing a window net. So shouldn't be a huge project, but a pretty cool one to work on. Also, yesterday we had this amazing Maverick dropped off. So this was at another shop and the cage was started and the guys that did it did a great job on it. So it's got a good start. So we're gonna work on finishing up the cage, getting the rear end in it, making some ladder bars. So that's what this project is. Matthew's working on the F100. We're making good progress on it. Still waiting on the parts for this truck and the dually. We got the fuel sump done. Got that done yesterday. So the fuel sump is on and we are waiting on the fitting to show up, and then we're going to put the fuel pump on it and finish the filler neck on this beast. But yeah, the shop's starting to fill up, starting to get some cars in here, so we're starting to get to work. This is exciting. Okay, so we got the belly pan made for the Nova. It turned out pretty good. The car actually sets pretty low to the ground, so we were kind of trying to make sure it didn't go too low, but the rules are the rules. So we tried to make it a 2-inch lip around the outside. So since the car sets so low, we were thinking, man, we can make it a little bit shorter, but we went ahead and made it 2 inches. The cool thing is, if for some reason it does have a clearance issue, we can always cut it out and move it up. It's just, we try to abide by the rules. So anyway, so we got the Nova done, so I'm gonna show you that. We're gonna work on the window net, and then we gotta do some tie down hooks on it. And then we're gonna do a walk around on the Maverick, because we're gonna be doing a bunch of cage work on it. So let's do that. Okay, so here's the belly pan from the bottom. So we made these just simple brackets here, and they are actually slotted so you can kind of go up and down with it to try and get how you want it. And we just ended up using existing motor plate bolts or mid plate bolts for this side and this side. We had to notch this out a little bit so they didn't rub against this harness, but not a big deal. So if you ever buy a belly pan from us, there's a good chance that you're going to have to notch things out, because we don't know where your harnesses are, transmission cooler lines, things like that. The flywheel comes a little close, so as you see here, I marked it with a Sharpie. So I'm going to come back in and cut that out just to make sure we don't have any hitting issues there. Other than that, it should be kind of done for the most part. We ended up notching around these control arms because it was just one of those things we didn't know about. The front end on this actually has some webbing in here, so these are actually 2 inches in distance, so that is according to the NHR rule. But yeah, that's how it turned out. It has to go from the balancer to the flex plate, so that's the rule, and then frame rail to frame rail, and it has to have a 2-inch lip. So we got this one done. Trying to find a spot to mount the front. I don't like mounting bolts on the bottom of our belly pans because that's a good spot for it to leak. So what I went ahead and did was I made this bracket here that just goes across, and I had to notch it out for for the steering rack, but it bolts into these steering rack locations, and then it has a little L with some nutserts on it, and you just bolt it on. So 4 bolts and that thing comes off, and good to go. So we're gonna be putting some pig mat in it and notching that back, and then putting the sticker on it, and the belly pan should be good. Okay, so here is how low the headers hang. The belly pan hangs probably about, let's say, a good inch lower than the headers, so it's probably got about 1.5 inches of clearance, which isn't a lot, but this is pretty much it's a drag car, so I don't think it'll be a problem, but it might be one of those things where if this car does wheelies, it might be a good idea to put some wheelie skids on it to help prevent that. Or you could always raise the ride height up a little bit, but it does look pretty gangster, sitting there tucking tire like that. So yeah, so belly pan is on. I'm going to lift it up in the air and show you guys how it looks from the bottom. Okay, moving on to Zach's car. So Zach actually brought us this car, and he's been on the waiting list to have this car brought out for a very long time. He's had a lot of unfortunate chassis shop issues. The first chassis shop he went to, when they put the cage in, they welded a whole bunch of stuff, and you wouldn't be able to weld all the way around the bars. So I actually went out and bid the job. I think it was probably 2 years ago, and told him, hey, I hate to be this guy, but it looks like you probably have to cut it all out and start over. He didn't really like the idea, which I don't blame him, so he kind of slept on it for a while. He ended up finding another chassis shop local. The guy that did this did phenomenal work. So you could see the floor got cut out, which is something he really didn't want to do, but to do the amount of cage that he wanted to do is just part of it. So yeah, he did a really, really good job with this as a great foundation to start with. So we cannot be more happy about that. So what we're going to do is this car's probably going to be getting, he wanted to do a 750 cage, but I don't think there's a whole lot more between the 750 and going to the 6.0 cage. So we're probably going to be doing a 6.0 cage on this, but we're going to have to go through all the books and stuff and make sure there's nothing crazy. But usually the difference between the two, especially once you have the whole floor cut out, you might as well just go 6.0. So this car's also going to be getting ladder bars. So the first thing that we're probably going to be doing is getting the rear end in where we need it to be, making the ladder bars, and then putting ends on the rear end, and then getting it as a roller. So just in case this car needs to leave for whatever reason or move or whatever, at least it's a roller at that point. And then we're going to start working on doing the rest of the chassis. What we're going to do is work on this area of the cage first, and we will probably end up, it's just tacked in up here at all 4 corners and on the sides. So what we're probably going to do is cut all those tacks once we get the main cage made, drop it out, weld it outside the car, put it back in the car, and then we can work on doing all the chassis to the back of the car, to the front of the car, and then the tin work for the floor. So that's kind of our game plan with this thing. But yeah, it'll be a cool project. And actually, this is a very similar cage to what we're going to be doing on our shop Mustang. So just like kind of like a little preview of what's going to be going on there. So Steve dropped this beautiful Corvette off with us, and he had like a little bit of a belt chirp. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be changing both belts. It's got a Pro Charger on it, so we're going to be switching out the Pro Charger serpentine belt and the AC belt. And while it's here, we're going to change the Pro Charger oil. So we have some Pro Charger oil from Pro Charger, so we are going to change that for him. And he was also complaining about an oil leak, and the oil pan on it is leaking. The problem with these is these cars are pretty common to have oil pans leak. I worked at the GM dealership for 15 years, and I saw a lot of them, and it looks worse than what it really is. It's probably more of what I would call a seep. So depending on how much you drive it or how much it bugs you, it's totally up to you, and that's the exact conversation I'm going to have with Steve. So let him make that decision if he wants to spend the money to get it fixed or not. But yeah, that's with this one. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. So I just wanted to say thank you again to everybody for this whole moving process. I know it took a lot longer. We got it all moved in. We're pretty much there. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We got little things that we're going to do, like we got a mop sink and a sink out here in the shop that we're going to do, so that way somebody needs to use the bathroom, we're not in there washing our hands and holding somebody up or whatever. But yeah, so that's one of the very few things, and we're going to finish some airlines. So my dad and I are going to try and knock that out hopefully this week, because next weekend, the 26th of June, from 2 to 6 p.m. we're going to be doing our open house. So if you're watching this and you're in the Kansas City area and you want to come check out the shop, we would love to have you. We're going to have some drinks and stuff, have some music going. It's just a friendly, come and go as you please, see what we got going on, see the new shop, and hang out for a little bit. And we'd appreciate it if you come out. So that being said, appreciate everybody watching the channel. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.